Good day everyone, we are Group 10 and in this video we are going to discuss grounded theory. To start the presentation, let us define first what grounded theory is. Developed by Glasser and Strauss in 1967, grounded theory is a qualitative research method in the social sciences that focuses on developing theory directly from data rather than starting with a hypothesis. The primary purpose of grounded theory is to construct theories grounded in systematically gathered and analyzed data rather than beginning with a preconceived theory. Basically, instead of starting research with a theory and then testing it, grounded theory builds theory through the collection and analysis of data in an interactive cycle. This method is particularly useful for exploring areas where little theory exists and where existing theories fall short. And this way, grounded theory allows researchers to stay close to the data, ensuring that the resulting theory is deeply rooted in the lived experiences of participants. To start the presentation, let us define first when to use grounded theory. As mentioned earlier, grounded theory is especially beneficial when there is little existing theory or when the existing theories do not adequately explain the phenomena being studied. It is most appropriate when there is little prior information or established theory about a phenomenon. Also, grounded theory is most useful in research scenarios where the aim is to generate new theories or conceptual frameworks rather than testing existing ones. This method is best suited when first, there is little existing theory or the existing theory is insufficient. Second, you aim to explain process or interaction. And third, you are exploring new areas of research. Now, what makes grounded theory unique is its inductive approach where data collection and analysis happen simultaneously, allowing patterns and concepts to emerge organically. This ensures that the theory is closely rooted in the data, giving a more authentic explanation of the studied phenomenon. When to use grounded theory. As mentioned earlier, grounded theory is especially beneficial when there is little existing theory or when the existing theories do not adequately explain the phenomena being studied. It is most appropriate when there is little prior information or established theory about a phenomenon. Also, grounded theory is most useful in research scenarios where the aim is to generate new theories or conceptual frameworks rather than testing existing ones. This method is best suited when first, there is little existing theory or the existing theory is insufficient. Second, you aim to explain process or interaction. And third, you are exploring new areas of research. Now, what makes grounded theory unique is its inductive approach where data collection and analysis happen simultaneously, allowing patterns and concepts to emerge organically. This ensures that the theory is closely rooted in the data, giving a more authentic explanation of the studied phenomenon. When to use grounded theory. As mentioned earlier, grounded theory is especially beneficial when there is little existing theory or when the existing theories do not adequately explain the phenomena being studied. It is most appropriate when there is little prior information or established theory about a phenomenon. Also, grounded theory is most
Good day, everyone. I am Rando Alipano, and for my part, I will tackle the process and tools when using the grounded theory. So, what is the process when using the grounded theory? Before starting any research study, is it important for the researcher to fully understand the research process? This means knowing the steps involved in designing and carrying out the study. If you're planning to use grounded theory or GT, you need a clear outline and understanding of the key aspects of GT to successfully achieve your research design. Then, after knowing the process, you will now create a detailed outline. Having a well developed outline helps keep the study organized and ensure you know exactly what you're going to do at each stage. The next step is learning the importance consideration in grounded theory. When using GT, it is crucial to understand how this methodology works. Grounded theory has its own unique way of generating theories from data, so you need to be aware of how to gather and analyze data in a way that fits grounded theory's principle. This includes constantly comparing new data with previous data to develop a theory. And if you are sure that you're going to use this theory, you need to follow the grounded theorist approach. If you are new to grounded theory, it is helpful to follow a well established approach from grounded theories like Glacier, Strauss, or Charmas. Each one has their own versions of GT, so picking one to guide your study will give you a structure and clarity. And lastly, use a framework for research design. A research framework is like a guide or structure that helps you design your study. It helps you organize your thoughts, decide on the methods you will use, and ensure that your research is logically planned out. Using a framework makes the process smoother and ensures that all the important elements of your study are covered. I will now explain to you a thorough explanation of grounded theories process using a framework for conducting this study. In this framework, we can see that there are six main parts of the process, and these are the purpose of sampling, generating or collecting data, initial coding, intermediate coding, advanced coding, and grounded theory. In purposive sampling, this is the first step where you choose participants or data sources that are most relevant to the research question. You intentionally select participants who have the experiences or information needed for your study. In the generating or collecting data, here you gather data using methods like surveys, interviews, focus groups, or any other data source. The data you will collect here will now serve as the foundation for the developing of your grounded theory. As for the initial coding, after collecting the data, you start breaking it down by identifying key concepts or categories from the raw data. You assign codes to these concepts. This is the first level of organizing the data to find patterns or themes. Next is the intermediate coding. In this step, you refine the categories and begin selecting a core category, the most important concept that ties everything together. You continue analyzing until you reach data saturation, meaning no new information is emerging. This stage helps to focus the analysis and ensure that you are thoroughly examining the data. Second to the last is the advanced coding. You further develop the core categories into storyline and connect them using theoretical coding. The storyline organizes the finding into a meaningful structure. This is the step where your theory starts to take shape, connecting all the categories into a cohesive explanation. Lastly, grounded theory. At the end of the process, you will generate a grounded theory, a well developed explanation or theory that emerged directly from the data. This theory helps explain or predict behaviors or patterns based on the data you have analyzed. As you can see on the left side, there are words theoretical sensitivity and theoretical sampling. Theoretical sensitivity refers to the researcher's ability to recognize what is important in the data, influenced by their background knowledge and intuition. And theoretical sampling occurs throughout the process, as you keep gathering more data based on what you find important or need to explore further. On the right side, you can see the words memoing, constant comparative analysis, and concurrent data collection and analysis. In memoing, throughout the entire process, the researchers write memos or notes to keep track of ideas, insights, and decisions. On the other hand, constant comparative analysis, you constantly compare the data pieces like interviews, surveys, etc., to identify similarities and differences, helping you build categories and theories. And lastly, concurrent data collection and analysis. Data collection and analysis happen at the same time. You keep comparing new data with the previous data to refine your understanding. In summary, grounded theory research involves a cynical process where data is collected and analyzed at the same time through coding, comparing, sampling, and memoing. The process is iterative or repeated and dynamic, constantly evolving, allowing the theory to emerge directly from the data, which is continually redefined until no new insights are found.
The next one that I'll be tackling is the advantages and disadvantages of the grounded theory. Now, the advantages of the grounded theory are listed here. It helps us to better understand the complex phenomena about which existing theories don't explain. Through it, we systematically collect and analyze data. It is very helpful in studying real settings and developing new theories, which encourages our subconscious mind and critical thinking. Next one is the disadvantages of the grounded theory, also listed here in our presentation. It states that grounded theory is really time consuming to carry out and often very complicated. There is also a threat of bias in the researcher, and drawing conclusions together is not as automatic as it might be in some other approaches. Now we will show you the studies we have gathered that we think utilizes the grounded theory. The present study hence aimed at ascertaining how grounded theory could provide a substantive theory from qualitative data, either through a constant comparison, coding, and categorization process. This research relied on grounded theory as its primary methodology of data analysis to allow the researcher to code the data systematically, identify patterns and themes, and eventually develop a full theory on the subject matter. It is through the constant comparative method applied that the developed theory becomes inclusive and mainly grounded on the lived experiences of the participants. This way does not predicate what to expect from data, thereby avoiding preconceived bias that would appear inauthentic and invalid for any theoretical framework. Grounded theory also provides an opportunity for new routes of investigation that might not have been envisioned to begin with, making it an extremely strong tool for research focused on opening up avenues in a specific field. In summary, grounded theory was of extreme value during this research and provided the structure yet flexibility that was used to develop a living, good, and grounded theory of the participants' experience.
One example of grounded theory in the field of education is titled Engaging, Affirming Nurturing Inclusive Environment, a Grounded Theory Study in the Philippine Context by Rangodin, Custodio, and Bulusan. This research explores the characteristics of inclusive environments in Philippine classrooms for children with special needs. The study involves interviews with 32 special education teachers and classroom observations across 3 schools. Grounded theory was chosen for this study because it allowed the researchers to develop a framework from the ground up based on the data collected from educators and classroom environments. Since the goal was to understand and contextualize inclusive education in the Philippine context, a relatively under-researched area, grounded theory inductive approach helped in identifying reoccurring themes without preconceived notions. This methodology facilitated the emergence of a theory based on the actual experiences and practices of special education teachers rather than testing a pre-existing hypothesis. Grounded theory helped the researchers systematically analyze data through stages of coding. They identify patterns and themes from the interviews and observations, eventually categorizing these into three dimensions: engaging, affirming, and nurturing environments. These dimensions emerge organically through iterative coding, where initial codes are refined into focus categories. The researchers employed constant comparative methods, comparing data points to develop a cohesive theory explaining how inclusive education environments operate in the Philippine schools. In summary, grounded theory was particularly suitable for this study as it allowed the researchers to construct a theory about inclusive education practices directly from their data, ensuring that the resulting framework was deeply rooted in the lived experiences of the participants.
A research paper titled Using Grounded Theory to Explore Learners' Perspectives of Workplace Learning by Julie used grounded theory to understand how unqualified adult learns teaching skills in a workplace context. Grounded theory in the study was used, meaning the researcher did not start with already formed theories or hypotheses. Instead, she allowed the data to guide theory development. As such, no initial theoretical framework was imposed. The goal was to generate a theory that is grounded in the participants' real world experiences. The study used various forms of data, including interviews and documents, to capture perspectives on how people learn teaching skills in a workplace. Importantly, interviews were unstructured and conversational, allowing participants to lead the discussion. Participants were treated as experts and encouraged to share their experiences freely. The sampling was done using theoretical sampling, where participants were selected based on the emerging needs of the study. This means that rather than predetermining the number of participants, the researcher added more participants as a new concept and patterns emerged, ensuring that the data covered a broad range of experiences. In keeping with grounded theory methodology, the literature review was delayed until after the theory started to emerge. This prevented developed ideas from influencing the data analysis. Once the theory began to take shape, the researcher incorporated relevant literature as additional data, continuing the constant comparative analysis. Grounded theory also focuses on the empowerment of participants. In this study, participants were given control over their interview, such as selecting interview times, locations, and deciding how to share their perspectives. This flexibility ensured that the data remained authentic to the participant experiences. The research continued until theoretical saturation was reached, when new concepts emerged from the data and additional data fit within the existing codes and categories. The study acknowledged its limitation, including the small number of participants, which limited the validity of the findings. However, grounded theory focuses on specific contexts, so the depth of understanding in the study was more important than broad applicability.